Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I am Ajo True in Love. Thank you for joining me today on the podcast for your NXT July 22nd, 2020 review. Was a solid show, if I must say, for NXT. NXT gave a glimmer of what it used to be. Uh, Unless we've seen the last couple weeks. As we know, NXT is not really the same anymore, but as we go, or as we move forward uh, to TakeOver 30 next month, since TakeOver will not be somewhere else outside Full Sail. Once again, uh, how they turned NXT TakeOver Bridgeport into TakeOver 25. Um, Now we got TakeOver 30. But was a solid show. The NXT North American Championship is vacant. Um, how we'll have 5 qualifying matches for a ladder match for TakeOver 30 next month. We got Karrion Kross versus Dominik Dijakovic, which is really fun. Um, a bunch to go over. And like I said, if you're new, like and subscribe, click on the bell, and we'll get into the review, shall we? Uh, so the show started off with Keith Lee and William Regal. William Regal allowed Keith Lee to make his announcement, and Keith Lee announced that he's vacating the North American Championship. So then William Regal announced that, like I said, we'll have 5 qualifying matches, 3 or 5 triple threat matches, where the winners will go on to a ladder match to determine the new North American champion at TakeOver 30. And we had one of those triple threat matches tonight, which was really fun with a surprising outcome. Get into that in a little bit. So after that, we had Dexter Lumis versus Killian Dain. This was fun. Uh, Dexter Lumis has been one of the best things on NXT the last few months. Killian Dain, of course, we all know he was with Sanity, and WWE did them wrong, broke them up. Killian Dain came back to NXT. Has been here or there. He's so really good. He's just haven't been featured prominently on NXT. But this was a good match. Getting into it, there was a spine buster by Lumis. There was a backdrop, leg drop combination for a 2 count. There was a power bomb, elbow drop by Dain for 2. And then at the end of the match, Lumis got his signature arm triangle submission, and Dain was fighting it off, but eventually he passed out, and Lumis, he got the win. And apparently next week, he'll be in the second, I'm not trying to cut ahead, but next week he will be the second uh, qualifying match for the North American Championship with Timothy Thatcher and Finn Balor. So should be interesting. Next up, we had an interview of Roderick Strong. He was confronted by Bronson Reed, and Johnny Gargano came in, and they're going to be featured in the qualifying match later. Roderick Strong, Bronson Reed, and Johnny Gargano. And Johnny Gargano said, uh, well, I'm going to be going to TakeOver 30, become the two-time North American champion. Thick boy, he said to Bronson Reed. So we come from that to a little Zoom update of Dakota Kai, or it looked like she was taking a little video from her iPhone, I assume. But she said that next time she sees Io Shirai, she better have that women's championship. Likely to be the women's championship match at TakeOver 30. Should be interesting. Let's see how they prolong this till TakeOver 30, but I like to see what happens. So next was a tag team match, Everrise versus Breezango. Now, Everrise, I mean, they have been basically the enhancement jobber team, basically, of NXT. I mean, Breezango, of course, they always have a different entrance, which you like. In this entrance, they came out as Canadian cops. They came out with the whole uniforms, and it was just hilarious. So part of this match was isolating Tyler Breeze, who made the hot tag to Fandango, and Fandango cleaned house. And then at the end of the match, they hit serial super kicks on both members of Everrise, and for the win. Good for Breezango, but like I said, the tag team division in NXT is very slim. Where do they go? Maybe they do a multi-team match at TakeOver 30. We haven't seen Imperium in a little bit, so I wonder what's up with them. Maybe they have COVID. I'm not quite sure. But we'll have to see where Breezango goes in the tag team title picture. So after that, we got an interview of Dominik Dijakovic talking about his match with Kross later in the evening, the main event. Then after that, we had a match between Aliyah and Shotzi Blackheart. Now, this was, I mean, it's been brewing for a couple weeks. I mean, the theatric antics of Shotzi and the Robert Stone brand is just annoying, I would say. Trying to be comical, but it's not really working. So this was short. Aliyah, you want to see her get better. Excuse me. Because for the longest time, Aliyah was just boring in NXT. She didn't really amount to anything. Of course, they paired her with Vanessa Bourne. Uh, and Vanessa Bourne apparently was called up to main roster, but she hasn't been used. So it's like now they paired her with the Robert Stone brand, and this was a short match. Diving senton by Shotzi for the win. It was interesting after the match when Shotzi drove over with her tank the other leg of Robert Stone. She got blasted by Mercedes Martinez, and then she and Robert Stone had a little bit of or they just locked eyes, and then Mercedes Martinez uh, walked up the stage, and nothing really happened. So after that, we had a pretty cool vignette of Isaiah Swerve Scott. He looked like he was in a recording studio talking about his love for music and comparing it to wrestling. So, I mean, this was cool. Swerve, he's one of the most talented wrestlers, and he also talked about how he's the only one to have beaten Santos Escobar so far. Of course, that was when he was El Hijo del Fantasma. But nonetheless, he said next time he sees him, he'll be the next cruiserweight champion. So I would love to see a rematch between the two. Uh, it seems I'm not sure where they go with the cruiserweight title picture at TakeOver 30. I mean, it looks like they were still feuding Phantasma and Drake Maverick, but not sure. Maybe they do a multi-man match. We'll have to see. After we had a really good triple threat match between Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, and Roger Strong. Now, Bronson Reed, he has gotten better and better each time we see him. Johnny Gargano, of course, he is a new full-fledged heel. Of course, he challenged Keith Lee for the North American Championship at TakeOver in Your House. I still think he should have won. So it makes sense. Plus, we have Roderick Strong, who, I mean, he is a former North American champion. So it makes sense. But this was fun. Most of the match, obviously, was Roddy and Gargano double teaming up Bronson Reed because he's the bigger athlete. One spot that, though this was funnier but painful to look at, so was more funnier than the Robert Stone brand has done in the last few weeks. Uh, Roddy, he was trying to do a sunset flip, on Bronson Reed, but Bronson Reed, the big guy, he can't really get him over. So Gargano, he catapulted Roddy into a low blow where he headbutted Bronson Reed's big special area, and that was hysterical at the same time, painful to look at. I feel bad for Roddy. Uh, Tom Phillips said that will ruin your weekend. I agree. But yeah, we have that. Then after that, it was a slingshot spear by Gargano, then a tope suicida on Bronson Reed. And eventually, because Roddy kept trying to go for the Olympic slam on Reed, but he couldn't get him up. Eventually, he got him up. Big by Roddy. Then Bronson Reed had both Gargano and Roddy up and hit a double Samoa drop with both on his shoulders. Was a nice spot. Then the other cool spot, Gargano and Roddy were both fighting off the top rope, and Bronson Reed came up and had Gargano in an electric chair position, and while Gargano was up on on Reed's shoulders, Roddy went for a diving, almost like a doomsday device, but Gargano ducked the attack by Roddy, and the poison Rana on Bronson Reed looked brutal. I mean, Bronson Reed, that big guy, taking a poison Rana, that's just deadly. Then at the end of the match, we had there was a assisted powerbomb on Bronson Reed on the outside, which took him out for a while. Then Gargano and Roddy were having a solid few minutes exchange, back and forth, and then at the end, Gargano hit the one final beat on Roddy, but couldn't really make the cover. And then Bronson Reed out of nowhere, his big diving splash onto Roddy, which took Gargano out of the ring, pinned Roddy 1, 2, 3, and Bronson Reed is going to TAKEOVER XXX to vie for the North American Championship. I mean, that was a surprise. I thought Johnny Gargano was going to win this match. Bronson Reed, I mean, man, he's just getting better every week. You see him. It's all about timing, and I wouldn't mind seeing Bronson Reed win the North American Championship, but who knows who the other 4 winners will be for the match. We'll have to see. Excuse me. But this was a very good match. hats off to all three guys. And kudos for Bronson Reed, and kudos for Roderick for having the guts and the set to take a big splash from Bronson Reed. I would not want to take that splash from Bronson Reed. He's just kudos to Bronson Reed, though. So after that, we got a rematch. Timothy Thatcher versus Aliyah Larkin. So this was a rematch from their really, I would say, submission classic wrestling based match from a couple weeks ago. This was more the same. Uh, Larkin was focusing on the arm of Thatcher, and at the end of the match, Larkin, he was going for a Kimura, a standing Kimura, and then uh, all of a sudden, Thatcher, he took down Larkin and pinned the Larkin with his shoulders on the mat, and Thatcher, he beat Odie Larkin twice now, and of course he will move on to face Finn Balor and Dexter Lumis next week in a qualifying match for the North American Championship. So, should be interesting. After that, we cut backstage, and Mercedes Martinez, she found Robert Stone and Aliyah, and she basically said that she needs a manager to overlook all the contracts, all the fine print, while she does her business in the ring, takes out people, and she basically joined the Robert Stone brand. They shook hands, and so I would like to see. I think we all like to see Robert Stone be a more serious manager, not just comical way. So should be interesting. Mercedes Martinez, not really people know her. Well, she is a veteran. Of course, she trained Shayna Baszler, but she probably needs help on the microphone. So should be good, I think. We'll have to see where it goes. So after that, we had a vignette of Finn Balor previewing his match next week, qualifying match for the qualifying match for the ladder match for the vacant North American Championship. Said sorry to Thatcher and Lumis, but he's not playing chess, and he'll tell you his move. And obviously, he's gunning for the North American Championship. Right now, he's my favorite to win it. I would like to see Lumis also win it, but looks to be only one member from that triple threat match is going to be in the ladder match, so we'll see. So then we get to the main event, which was really good. A Karrion Kross for Dominik Dijakovic. Now, this was Kross's biggest test to date. Um, I can understand it, but at the same time, I'm critical because they gave Dijakovic more offense against Kross than Tommaso Ciampa did. So a little critical, but at the same time it makes sense, I would say. But yeah, this was a physical, I would say, fight almost. So Kross hit the Doomsday Saito. They were exchanging strikes on the outside. Uh, Dijakovic actually had Kross staggered a couple times in the match. Uh, Dijakovic actually hit the chokeslam bomb for 2 count. Uh, they were fighting again on the outside, coming to the end of the match, and Dijakovic, apparently his head was right behind the ring post uh, at the bottom of the ring apron, and Kross actually kicked the steel steps, which hit Dijakovic's head, and then Dijakovic was apparently out. Kross, he rolled him back in the ring, hit some brutal uh, forearms. Keith Lee came out and looked like he was about to stop the match. Uh, Dijakovic said, "No, no, don't stop the match." Uh, and then Kross, he applied the sleeper onto Dijakovic while Keith Lee was watching. While Kross was looking at Keith Lee, and Dijakovic, he passed out, and while Keith Lee was looking at Kross and Kross was looking at Lee, just brutal. And then Keith Lee went to the ring, and both were locking eyes uh, at the end of the show. As the show went off the air, I mean, the match is inevitable for TakeOver 30. I mean, the NXT has been so or was greedy with Kross. They wanted to give him the jetpack all the way to the top. However, uh, when it looked like Kross was going to be the one to take the title from Adam Cole, and they got backlash for it after only beating Ciampa, but they went the other route. Well, they wanted to combat Firefest through Great American Bash. Obviously, they did the first champion match. Keith Lee, Adam Cole. Keith Lee won. So now they figured they'll take the title off of Keith Lee by using Karrion Kross. And I mean, at least Duke, so Kross has got a few more wins under his belt, but still, I think he needs probably another legit win over a contender. I mean, I'm excited for the match, but not a lot of guys he's beaten. I mean, he's beaten Ciampa, he's beaten Bronson Reed, and he's beaten uh, Dijakovic. I mean, but still, the match is gonna happen at uh, TakeOver 30. Should be interesting. That should be Keith Lee's send off in NXT. Uh, since he vacated the North American Championship. Uh, but we'll see. And I actually thought about this, but maybe, let's say my prediction is true and Finn Balor does win next week. What if Kross, he gets the title, he goes on a little reign, and then at TakeOver War Games in uh, November, that Dexter Lumis is the one to take the title from Kross. I wouldn't mind that. I actually think it would be a good idea to help build up Lumis more because, I mean, their styles and how they would work is just very interesting. But that's my opinion. Uh, People probably have other opinions. Either way, that was the review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back Monday with another sports overview of topics, including the return of the MLB, uh, the bubble for the NBA, etc. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm Angel to Love. Like and subscribe. Thank you all, and I'll see you all on Monday.